Welcome to the Redeemables podcast, the podcast where we take movies that scored 50 or less on Metacritic and we decide whether to redeem them or whether to nail them to the cross. I'm here with my Veritas, Kenny.
Thank you. That was great.
And my Equitas, Duff.
Cool.
Yeah. And
What does that mean?
Give me your truth.
I'm truth, yes.
Yep. And your justice.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
I
that's
am
the tattoos.
justice.
That's the
That's the
tattoos. on their
tattoos.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as most moviophiles, is that a thing? Filmophiles, moviophiles?
Cinephile.
Cinephile, there we go. Tough with the words.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Would have guessed by that intro, that obscure Latin intro. We're doing Boondock Saints.
Ooh.
Yeah, which I didn't write down the year. I think it was 1999.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It was in that era.
Yeah.
Let's call it late 90s.
I've got
On the streets of Boston,
This was no gangland assassination. It was way too sloppy. Something went wrong here.
an FBI agent is on a case.
All the lowlifes in the quiet city of Boston start dropping dead, and you think it's unrelated.
They're all bad guys. Now they're all dead bad guys.
The victims are the mob.
What we have here, gentlemen, is the beginning of the first international mob war.
And the hitmen think they're on a mission from God.
Anybody you think is evil, don't you think that's a little weird, a little psycho?
Sort of like 7-Eleven. We're not always doing business, but we're always open.
That is nicely put.
It was written and directed by Troy Duffy,
Okay.
and he is actually going to be the subject of the minisode also.
Oh, cool. There's a bit to go over, is there?
Oh, man, what a story.
One and done?
Sort of.
Okay. Oh, we'll save it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite the story.
I remember there being something about it. Like it's a
Yeah.
bit of a cult kind of tale and yeah.
Simply cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll dig deeper into that on our minisode next week. Tune in.
Cannot wait.
Yep. The stars of this movie: Norman Reedus, Sean Patrick Flannery. Flannery.
Flannel. Sean Patrick Flannel.
Flannery.
How do you say Sean Patrick Flannery without using an Irish accent? It's
I
impossible.
can't do accents.
Sean Patrick Flannery.
Really, that's good.
It
You
has
should
to
teach
be,
me.
but it's the only way to say his name.
Yeah,
it's the
it's-
most Irish name ever.
Accents, fun fact, are the one weakness in my comedy repertoire. Other than that, it's flawless. I've noticed.
Yeah. A lot of the people are saying it in the reviews. Flawless comedy.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe is also in this movie.
Fucking Willem.
I don't know if you noticed him in this movie.
He's really incredible in it.
He is turned up to 11. in
And
this.
it's perfect.
Yeah. And also David Della Rocco. And in
Zach De La Rocca's brother?
He's the less
I
angry one.
don't know who that is.
He's the funny one in the family. And in I've got smaller roles.
Oh, so wait, sorry. Got myself with my Zach De La Rocca thing. His name's what? Something Rocco?
David Della Rocco.
Oh, and that's his name. His name's
Yeah.
Rocco in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
That comes up later as well.
Cool.
And I've put here smaller roles, preparing my notes. And I'm like, okay, smaller roles. And then I've just got Billy Connolly.
Perfect. That's all you need.
And who was he in the movie? Sorry, I'm not familiar.
El Duque.
Oh, that's Billy Connolly. What the fuck? No.
Billy Connolly.
I grew up watching
I was
Billy
about,
Connolly.
Jesus Christ, I had a
Anytime,
moment. Yeah, Daft Chill.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. What country is he from?
Paraguay.
Billy Connolly was one of the big comedians of the 90s before YouTube and Netflix,
Oh,
etc. When you just got comedians like on what
VHS,
or,
man. VHS,
or maybe
Billy.
Channel 10 at 8:30 on a
television.
Saturday night or something.
Television, yeah.
And he was one of the only ones, man. You got
Yeah.
Billy Connolly, you had Eddie Murphy. What else did you have in the 90s?
Jim Owen.
You still got Jim Owen. He's still going.
Yeah.
A mate of mine went and saw him only a few weeks ago. Can't believe
Exact
it.
same routine, isn't it?
Yeah, he's still doing
He's just got a booth at the shopping centre.
that. Jim Owen.
just
Wow.
telling the same
Let's
jokes.
not rag on Jim Owen here.
Oh, yeah, he's all right.
Yeah.
I loved his show.
That's right. He had a sketch show, didn't
Yeah, it was
he?
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was good.
Law of diminishing returns with his comedy.
Anyway, so Jim Owen's not in Boondock
nothing
Saints.
to do whatsoever with this.
He could have been one of the brothers. He's Irish.
He could have been.
Throw him in there. Give him a role.
That's a generalisation, but yeah.
Okay.
So Metacritic-wise, this movie qualifies for our podcast because it scored 44.
Okay.
44.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
which by my math is lower than 50.
Yeah.
I can probably imagine what the critics are about to say.
Yeah.
Actually, we're probably not there yet, are we?
No, not quite. We've
Okay.
got some other stats first. You know, I love stats.
Yeah, go.
User score, 77.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow.
Should be
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah. Yeah.
higher.
Great.
I'm not surprised by that discrepancy. I think that's pretty bang on, really.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for that, which we can talk about as well. Now, the budget and the box office are interesting ones.
Okay.
So the budget that they actually ended up spending on the movie, $6 million.
Fuck, is that all?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I've broken this down into USBO and GBO.
Okay.
US box office. Do you guys want to take a punt? You know I love this.
I know the backstory of it, so I feel at an advantage.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have done overly well, just because it was kind of no names, wasn't it? Other than Billy Connolly, Willem Dafoe. I'll say like 10.
10 mil?
Yeah.
Tough?
It was released just after the Columbine mass shootings.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So,
oh wait, is that a good thing for this movie?
No. Gun
no.
violence was a real
issue, I guess.
issue. Yeah, it was,
I wasn't sure because maybe
movies,
vigilante.
Thank God things have changed.
Yeah, well done, America. You
Yeah,
really
yeah.
sorted that shit out.
So yeah, for me, it'd be lucky to make $1 million.
It took in its box office takings, it took $30,000.
Fuck.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I cross-referenced this several times.
That's insane.
Internationally, GBO, so that's USBO. GBO, $411,000.
Fucking hell.
It was only released mostly on the back of what Duff said, and then also what we'll go into in terms of like the production and the difficulties with the production and what happened with it. But the timing was really bad in terms of Columbine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad.
The
You're
spotlight,
not wrong.
Yeah, the spotlight was really on gun violence movies, so yeah, it couldn't have been a worse time. It was only.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Like the spotlight. I mean, I remember Columbine, but I don't remember what it.
Yeah, I
do.
Weirdly enough, one of the hot button movies was Matrix.
Trench coat, and the boys in this wear that big black jacket as well, which is a big. Oh, God.
it
okay,
was-
because that was the Columbine guy.
Yeah, and it's
wow.
just pure violence.
So it only actually released in 5 theaters around the US.
Jeez.
Hence the $30,000.
Still
they
pretty
were-
good
they
for
would've-
5 theaters.
It would have been a nervous release for
Yeah.
those theaters. Like,
Yeah.
put it on at like 11 p.m. on a Friday and hope for the best.
Plus, it's an indie film.
Yeah. I would have gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm
I
definitely saying
don't
it.
even think it was released here in cinemas. I
Well,
feel like we didn't get it till
it
a year or
was-
two later.
Yeah.
Do you have VHS sales? Because it's a massive
I'm
cult
so
following.
glad you asked, actually.
Massive cult.
'Cause of course I
I'm
do.
one of the cult followers.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Interestingly enough, the distributor Indican Pictures, they struck an exclusive deal with Blockbuster Video, which...
Bang!
Google it, kids. It was a blue building where you used to be able to go and rent shit. The second last one in the
A
world
safe
was
place.
just around the corner from my house.
Oh, there you
in
go.
Molly, and
Oh, that's right. The
yeah,
Molly one. Yeah.
closed down not long ago. I still think it was laundering cash, but that's another story. I bought my heroin there.
Was the heroin tucked into the chalk
Yeah, it
bombs?
was just-
Just eight chalk bombs, please. Yeah, that'll be $600.
$600.
A street value of $600. But that actually really helped it. So Blockbuster really pushed it, and they exclusively distributed it. It became a cult classic.
Yeah.
The buzz really built around it afterwards, and it has estimated gross earnings from DVD sales of $50 million.
Yeah.
Fuck, okay.
That's what it is.
Wow, that's huge.
Word of mouth,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. So that also
I reckon. Sorry, I was going to say. I reckon probably close to $10,000 to $12,000 of that was Duff and I renting the movie when we lived together in the early 2000s.
100%.
like you ever returned to DVD.
Well, no, that's what I mean. We never returned. So
They
it's just
got
late
$6
fees accumulating. Yeah. We
still
still
out there.
owe that $11,000.
Oh, God.
I found the other day amongst my DVD collection the Australian version of Netflix that used to mail you out.
Oh, yeah.
It's I can't remember.
Quick
what it's
Flicks?
called. Yeah, Quick
Quick
Flicks.
Flicks,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've still got a Quick Flicks.
I remember it.
I'm sorry to Quick Flicks.
I have no idea what a quick flicks is.
I'll post a picture of it.
Because I'm a boy.
It was weird because it was online, but
Yeah.
then they'd mail it to you.
Yeah, I mean the movie's
you're
limitless.
so
Someone
close.
put
The movie inside the envelope's limitless, which doesn't seem that old, right?
No, it doesn't
But
at all.
I apparently rented that from Quick Flicks and never returned
That'd be
it.
2009, maybe. I
Oh
reckon.
yeah, something like that.
How did that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
didn't
know
go
why.
well. Yeah.
Great film.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's all right. I've got a wiki. I tried to cut it down, but it's a bit of a ramble, so bear with me here, right?
Go.
So Wikipedia says The Boondock Saints is a 1999 American vigilante action thriller film, which is spot on, right?
Yep.
It's written and directed by Troy Duffy. The film stars Sean Patrick Flannery, or as Ken would say,
Sean Patrick Flannery.
Norman Reedus as fraternal twin brothers Connor and Murphy McManus.
The McManus boys.
Both become vigilantes after killing 2 members of the Russian mafia in self-defense. After both experience an epiphany, the twin brothers, together with their friend funny man David Della Rocca,
Makes more sense.
You fucked me up with that. Set out to rid their home city of Boston of crime and evil, all the while being pursued by Special Agent Paul Schmecker, played by Willem Dafoe.
Good. That wasn't too long.
It's quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pissed off it didn't
covered it
mention
all.
Billy.
Felt long when I was copy and pasting it, but there you go. On the poster, "Thy kingdom come, thy will be done."
Cricket.
I like it.
Yeah. I would like it after I've seen the movie.
I
But the
guess.
point of that is like to sell the movie.
Yeah.
The tagline, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
true.
But I guess the picture is probably, I think it's them holding the
It
guns
is.
down
Yep.
towards the back of someone's head.
Yep. It's exactly what
So
it
I
is.
guess you kind of know. Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, you're
sure.
right. I never thought of it, though, because, I didn't pay any attention until after I'd seen the movie.
Yeah.
It does, it's not going to drag me in, I guess.
Isn't it just on the wiki? Was it an epiphany, or I thought God talked to them? I thought it was God speaking.
Same
to them.
deal.
That is an epiphany.
Is that what an epiphany is?
Well,
in a way.
it's a
Epiphanies
real-
I thought
can
like
be
an
different
epiphany is
things.
like Final Destination. Oh, the plane's going to crash.
I think they both qualify.
That would be an.
Oh, no, that's a
that would-
premonition.
Premonition.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all learning things today. Just me. Just me. learning
just
things.
you.
Just learning things. Just learning with BJ.
We should do a word of the week
We
segment.
really should, actually, yeah.
I'll try and guess what it means.
It's going to be Rocco this week.
Love Rocco.
Yeah.
Rocco's my soulmate.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
Just love
Just what a
When
what
can
a
we
love-
talk about Rocco?
What a lovely
What do we have to get through before we can start talking about Rocco?
I got some reviews,
Yeah,
and then
good.
we're into
Oh,
general
yeah.
discussion.
So that's the Rocco part,
Yeah.
the general discussion?
Reviews, cast, whatever.
Let's get there.
Reviews that I only actually, believe it or not, had 4 reviews to choose from.
Yeah.
1999.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
Right.
okay. Yeah.
So the small sample size is probably what helped drag it down below the 50 threshold,
Ah, of course.
especially because the AV Club's one of them.
Yep. Go on. Who is
So Robert Kohler from
which
Variety.
prick from the AV Club? Are we allowed to say prick?
Yeah.
No, you fucking can't, mate.
So because I'm working down from highest to lowest, you'll have to wait for AV Club, because guess where they sit. Robert Kohler from Variety said, "More interested in finding fresh ways to stage execution scenes than in finding the meaning behind the human urge to kill for self-appointed righting of wrongs. The film is stuffed with effects that have no lasting impact." Actually,
I don't get it.
Actually gave it 60, which is kind of cheap. I'm gaming the system a little bit by
Yeah.
giving a 60, but
I fucking hate
Pretty
this
harsh.
movie.
and
90.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Oh.
But we talk regularly about movies that are a bunch of scenes threaded together with plot. So this was, I guess, right?
Yeah.
This is a horrible name to pronounce. Manolia Dagras,
Yeah, you've done well there.
whatever.
Well, we don't know if he's done well because we can't see it written.
I nearly said.
Just want to move on, Ken, to talk about Rocco.
I read it first as Manholia, and I thought that's not a
Manholia. Manholia.
High school would have been rough. From the LA Weekly, Duffy's assembled a fine cast, but it's hard to take your eyes off the 2 young leads. But he's given them little to do but squeeze triggers and mouth platitudes. 50.
I thought they had a bit more going on.
Yeah, I thought that look
incredible.
Norman Reedus gives as
chemistry.
he's getting taken away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking hell.
Yeah, it was very raw.
Oh,
Man,
Very emotionally
squeeze triggers,
raw.
mouth platitudes. Put that on the fucking poster.
that's the tagline.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it? Yeah. So Nathan Rabin from the AV
Oh,
Club.
it's the Rab. He's
It's-
back.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's-
always him.
It's Rab.
Yeah. I think he was the only one writing for them at that point in time. And
He probably
he's
was.
fucking miserable.
So
So go on.
he was lonely, apparently. As
I'm
written and
gonna reach
directed.
out to him.
Don't. Please don't.
No, see if he's okay. I'm
He's
worried
not.
about
I'll
him.
tell you he's not.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
fucking listen to this. As written and directed by newcomer Troy Duffy, The Boondock Saints is all style and no substance. A film so gleefully in endorsement of vigilante justice that it almost veers into self-parody. Also, you could put on the poster gleeful in endorsement of vigilante justice. That's fine by me as well.
Yeah, I'm in for that.
Yeah. Irish Vengeance Ride. That's what it should have been called. So, general discussion.
Sure. How did you go, Duff?
What do you mean?
When's the last time you watched it?
This is one of my movies. It is in my top 10
Oh wow, of all time.
of all
Really?
time.
Wow.
Massive movie for me. I'm part of that 50 million over and over again.
Yeah.
I always seem to watch it when I've had a bit of drink in me,
A bit of liquor.
a bit of liquor, and
Bit of whiskey.
and I just
Bit of Jamison for the Irish boys.
I was like, I wish I had a brother so I can go on a vigilante justice. But I love everyone in this. Like William Dafoe just like eats up the scenery.
Man.
He's so great, and the way the way it was done, like he'd rock up to a scene,
Yeah.
and then it's him doing his crazy thing and finding out how it was done.
I just love that.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
such
man.
it's such a
So
clever way to
clever.
do it. That's what puts
That's
this
the style.
apart from every other like cheap action revenge or vengeance film or whatever you want. Vigilante film, sorry, is probably a better word for it.
Because normally it'd just be like them doing it, then the detective coming in, this is how he did it. It's like,
Yeah.
we don't need that. Let's do his little process. Or
Yeah.
just mental process.
So
And he gets to
interesting.
explain
I think
it all and break it down.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I think also the non-linear thing was a bit of a trope about that time. So like the 90s, Pulp Fiction's to credit and to blame for a lot of this shit, right?
I'm just marking this down as another pod. You've mentioned Pulp Fiction. 18 out of 22 episodes.
It is the greatest film ever made, so fair enough.
And
But-
one of the only films you've seen. So.
Yeah, this is very true. This is very true.
Sorry, go on.
But
I get what you mean.
this
Yeah, it
is
was a thing.
Tarantino's mentioned like his
One of his-
fingerprints are all over this, right? Like this is Tarantino-esque,
Yeah,
full on. And
sure.
there's no
like
doubt-
a film student version of Tarantino.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like much like say, like without being too old and wanky about it, but like after Nirvana, there was like every fucking band they tried to sign. They were signing anyone who had a guitar. There's the post Nirvana haze. There was the post Pulp Fiction haze as well.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
Everyone was replicating it, but this is different enough in it works in that the way that it's like. It's non-linear, but it's still constructed in a way that makes sense. So it's like you get to see the crime scene, you get to see the crime.
Yeah, so it's not like time's all over the place.
Yeah.
It is chronological.
Yeah.
But it's just like when you actually get to the scene, he's just explaining it all to you.
Yeah, he
And
pieces
you-
it
and
together,
you-
then you get to see whether he's
Because
right.
you don't see it either. You see what he's seeing as well. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah,
How many bodies are there? 8.
Yeah.
There's 9.
Yeah.
And the first time he rocks up, and what's his name? The fucking cop that's
Oh, that poor guy.
overacting like crazy.
I don't think he is.
Oh,
No,
his character.
He's going nowhere.
He's just
His
nowhere.
His character name is Bob Marley. weirdly enough.
Yeah.
I think his real name's Bob
his
Marley.
real name's Bob
Detective
Marley.
Greenlee. Yeah,
Yes,
I
He's
just
a-
saw Bob Marley, and I was like, "What the fuck
yeah.
is that?" No, that's his.
And
actual
ironically,
name.
he's not chill at all.
No.
Like, he got no chill.
He's a comedian.
Right.
Is he?
Yeah,
I thought
very
he was a reggae.
very big in Boston.
Google Bob Marley for the guitar. He was turned to right up in the beginning as well. Like,
I loved him.
but he just get me a coffee. I mean that recurring sort of joke throughout it. Cream cheese with my bagel.
yeah.
It was great.
It's good.
Why don't you get me a cup of coffee?
Who the hell is it?
Cafe latte.
What the
Twist
fuck?
of lemon.
Chief, what the fuck is this?
Sweet and low.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon from the very beginning because it's been a while. So when do you reckon the last time you actually watched it, Duff? You're a regular.
No, I reckon about 2 years ago.
Yeah, Ken.
5 years probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon at least 5 for me too.
I would have seen it maybe 5 times, 6 times.
Yeah.
Oh, insane. We probably watched it 38 times
I
in
can
the space
say
of 2 years back in the early 2000s, and then not for a while.
Yeah.
But as an adult. The opening graphics, I was like, fuck, they look pretty 80s. I was like, is it an indie film aesthetic thing? Is it a conscious direction choice? I was like, is this
You mean like the
Widescreen?
right from the get-go,
like the text?
the text and everything,
Yeah,
the,
okay.
the very beginning, the opening credits?
It was a tricky start for the film.
Yeah.
It was.
I was like, is this a deliberate choice? Is this an indie aesthetic? Is it a lack of budget?
yeah,
But
maybe all of the above.
as soon as we entered the church, I was cool.
Yep.
right? But until then, I was like, oh fuck, does this age really badly? Like I hadn't watched it for a while, and I was like, oh, is this going to be like this sort of weird 80s look all the way through?
No, I did note that down as well. My first note is first 10 minutes or so is a little bit dated.
Feels old.
Yeah.
And the trailer as well. Did you guys watch the trailer?
No.
The boys, the brang, like, you know
Oh,
that
they do the
voiceover
voice.
guy?
Yeah.
Out for justice.
Yeah. Okay.
I liked the opening scene because it did a really good job with the setting up of the brothers. You knew immediately that they were super tight and would do it.
Yeah, and like what they were about.
Yeah. No, you knew they were badasses straight away, right? They just were fucking middle.
Why? Because they knocked out a woman.
Should be a rule of the hand.
That was funny. No, actually, just in the church, just the church scene. Just the church scene.
Is that when and the community's like, and the priest goes to say something, he's like, whisper something to them, like,
they stand up in the middle of the service, and one of the priests is like, and the other one goes, I wouldn't say shit.
They speak to God.
Yeah. So I'm going to do just bear with me while I do a quick segue here, a bit of a nerd out on something. One of my pretentious nerd outs here.
Nerd away.
So the priest, he's actually talking about the Kitty Genovese story.
Yeah.
Which from this fucking dope eagle altar. Notice it's got the like.
I didn't actually notice that.
It's like a Jesus eagle. He's like,
that's
his
wicked.
fucking pulpit. His pulpit is just like a big angry eagle. I was like, I don't remember the angry eagle from the Bible, man. Fucking probably would have gone to church more if I had known there was like killer fucking massive birds of prey, fucking pterodactyl versus eagle.
And immediately I'm in.
But he was telling the story of Kitty Genovese and the bystander myth, which is a thing that they talk about. Sorry, the bystander theory.
Yeah,
which is that people when something bad's happening, other people will stand back and watch because they just assume someone else will intervene.
Yeah, okay.
Which I found,
which is a premise for the film, I guess.
Yeah, that was part of their epiphany because they walk out and he goes, I think Father, what's his name, finally gets it.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Is in that we need to start intervening.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, not a biblical story whatsoever. Nothing to do with the fucking Bible at all, right?
No.
It's a story about something that happened to a woman in the 50s.
Yeah.
It's since been completely disproven, the whole story. So they teach it, apparently they teach it as part of psychology courses at universities and shit, and it's completely based on falsehoods. Like the whole story's been disproven to be absolute bullshit. But the other thing that struck me more as it went on, the irony is how much the brothers throughout the film rely on people standing back and not saying shit.
Yeah.
That's a whole
everyone.
Boston community, though.
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah.
But their whole point of getting involved is because they shouldn't stand back and let evil men do things, right?
Yeah.
But then they're like, they commit crimes. They're like, they go, neighborhood's full Irish. No one will say shit.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bit of a disconnect there. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I get what you mean. Like it's
they have to. The thing that led them to become vigilantes is also the thing that protects them whilst they're being vigilantes. And I don't know if that's a deliberate choice or not, but I thought that was interesting.
Or if Duff's on the money with that's just kind of a Boston thing that they do through every movie ever that has Boston cops in it.
Yeah, they're not going to say
They won't
shit.
talk.
Yeah, the
people
Boston
around here
Irish,
don't talk.
They don't talk. Yeah. But like, it just takes one person to be like, I was at church and the priest had this dope eagle altar and told this story about like, how we've got to intervene. Because what ultimately happens, obviously, as the guys they want to start getting involved in taking out the evil and sweeping the streets and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Like the other thing that struck me watching it this time as well, like without jumping too far ahead, their idea of an evil person sort of becomes a bit more ambiguous and morphs a little bit as it goes along.
They're all evil men.
Are the dudes
On
just
a
jerking off at the club?
They're on a scale.
Rocco knows who these people are. He knows the deeds they've done. So in that strip club you're talking about,
Yeah.
It's scumbag central in here. Rocco's like, yeah, these are bad dudes. So,
But we don't really like we go.
Bad dudes.
We go from Russian gangsters to some dudes that are just like.
but
But I think that's the point. They're like,
Rocket-
he's a piece of shit. He's not a good person. Fuck it.
Why? Because he's whacking it at the club.
No. As Duff said, there's more to all of those characters.
Yeah,
they
is that
just
what it
all
is?
happen to be there. I think one of them actually says something. Does Willem Dafoe's character say something? It's the who's who of whatever.
scumbags in here.
Yeah.
But all that was good character.
So I
development,
disagree with that little.
right? No, you're right. You've changed my mind on that one.
Yep.
Cool. Fair enough.
Scumbags, evil men,
Evil men.
evil men.
I did write that. I'm not sure that it's aged well that he punches the big lesbian in the face.
I think, all right, I think it's a bit fair because she attacks them, and that just proves
She was a
they're
lot bigger than them as well.
their brotherly bond as well.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
If you take it on him, you got to take on me. So I thought that was cool.
That-
And you just know from the supervisor going, fuck.
Yeah.
The brotherly bond
Sets it up.
that little bit does. And the moment where I'm like all in on this movie is the emotional pouring out of when he's handcuffed to the toilet seat.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, and I'm like,
And jumps off a fucking building.
and he's doing that for his brother, and I'm like, all in on this movie.
Yeah, man.
This is wicked.
That's the bit you're talking about where Norman Reedus looks back.
Looks back at him and he goes, "Oh, okay, cool."
Oh, that look. That's
the look.
Sorry, I missed
Norman
that
Reedus.
before.
It's just a bar fight, you pussies.
Yeah.
And then he just looks back at his brother.
Yeah.
And his
They
brother.
did set the guy's ass on fire.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Hey, it was St. Paddy's Day. They asked for sit down and have a drink with us.
That's it.
Potatoes.
Another thing worth mentioning: how good are the drinking scenes in this?
Yeah.
like at the bar, and then the other one where, well, should we talk about it now? The cat.
Oh, man.
But it's like obviously until the cat gets like blown to bits, but that drinking scene is great. Like I just want to be like, can I just be at that table for a couple of hours and just drink 8 whiskeys with these
It
guys?
connects with me on that level because that's what I do with my mates. So we'll sit there and just drink, talk shit, shoot cats,
try and make each other laugh.
Shoot cats. 10 minutes later, out in vengeance, I'm ripping the toilet off the thing.
Set some Russian mobsters' asses on fire. Oh no, I thought, and also every Boston Irish story should start on St. Paddy's Day. It should be the fucking law.
Yeah,
it should be just say St. Paddy's Day, and we go, yeah, we know.
Only that Evan
not
guy
on fucking Paddy's
just went,
Day, doesn't it? I think Norman Reedus says that.
Even just goes, you know what? I will have a sit down and drink with you.
Yeah.
Movie doesn't happen. Roll credits.
Yeah. They're just shooting wankers instead.
Everything can be solved by having a drink on Paddy's Day.
Yeah. There you go. The Irish have just done so much for world peace. On that note, the poor barman has got a stutter and Tourette.
Oh, yeah.
He's got 2 separate afflictions.
Oh, man.
So he fucking didn't do very well in the genetic lottery, that poor guy.
Listen, boys. I've got some very bad news. I'm going to have to close down the bar. Well, the Russians are buying up buildings all over the town, including this one. Fuck! Ass! And they're not letting me renew my lease.
Let me talk to my boss. Maybe he can do...
Listen, fellas, I don't want anyone to know, so you keep your trap shut. Well, you know what they say. People in glass houses sink ships.
Yeah, I didn't even look up his name, but he's that guy, that actor. He's always like...
Yeah, I'll send him around.
Yeah.
Fuck ass!
Couldn't name a film.
What happened to the nun at the hospital? Like looks like she's been punched in the face while he's screaming obscenities.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. So some of the other things that set up these guys as good blokes, right? So one of them is they're mucking around with that kid in the hospital, like the kid's having a bad day, and they're like making the kid laugh, and the nuns don't mind, and all that sort of stuff. They get a little offended about Mr. Tourette's, but it's not his fault. Like, blame Jesus. He's the one who gave him Tourette's. That like you say, the minute you see Norman Reedus look back at him, and then when you see his wrists bleeding.
Yeah,
as he's trying to rip that fucking toilet out of the wall. The jumping off the roof, throwing the toilet was great. The jumping off the roof, okay, all right.
You're not cool with that?
Oh no, it's good.
So
I'm
good
jumping.
with it.
I'm jumping for my brother.
It's
What?
Only one of my brothers.
Do you know what I'm doing?
I'm jumping.
Name him.
I'm
which
not
one.
naming him. They know.
Name a rimmer. Name a rimmer. You know what I'm doing though? I'm misjudging it and just fucking spraying and then going whoops.
He does very well, to hit him.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how he throws the toilet, no hesitation. While the toilet's in there, he's jumping off the roof.
already,
Yeah.
That's 2 birds with one toilet.
It was a pretty good way to take out some.
And then
Russian
Norman
monsters.
just fucking slapping that guy who gets up. Oh,
Yeah.
All right, so this is a good one. Favorite? You could break the movie down into the kill scenes essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite?
I have a favorite.
What is there? 5? I want to say.
Mine
at
is
least,
describing a kill scene.
Yeah.
That's mine.
What do you mean?
There was a firefight.
So is that your favorite?
That is my favorite thing in the whole fucking. movie.
Do not get me wrong. That's easily the best scene.
But a kill scene?
Kill scene.
Best kill scene.
That's not really a kill scene.
I don't know. You got to love the bit in the ropes when they're going around,
You like that?
and that guy tries to jump over the couch. No,
So that's like a John Woo homage, right?
Yeah.
you and your fucking rope.
You knew they were setting that up too. They give the guy the watches and whatnot. And he goes, "What does he say? Like fill your boots or whatever."
Yeah.
He says. And they like no stock control whatsoever. They just walk in and grab whatever the fuck they want. like he's not checking later. He's like, guys,
He's paid. They're paid.
you gave me a couple of watches.
Irish honor systems.
You've got $65,000 worth of weapons here.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
Just like, yeah.
I don't know how much weapons cost back there. Like,
Oh, the
it
duffel
seems
bags
pretty-
alone are $100, Ken.
So there was a couple of lines in the script which I thought were genuinely funny, which were great. One was, "It's not a fucking movie," and then he pulls out the knife and he goes, "Okay, Rambo." That also the cat scene, like I was like, oh my, like as a cat lover. But then Rocco goes, "Is it dead?"
Fuck it. I'm doing it. It is. Oh my god. I'm hit. Motherfucker. I'm hit. The fuck? I can't believe that just fucking happened. Is it dead?
Its head's literally flat on the
It's
wall.
just fucking splattered against the wall. That was genuine. And then the other scene, which is completely inappropriate, but that I also laughed, is when Rocco touches the unconscious stripper's boob. And then he catches him and he goes, "I'll tip her."
I'll tip it. I also like his.
After that, he's like, "Let me make up for touching the."
I like where he meets when he comes home freaking out, and that lady says something. He goes, "Shut the fuck up."
Oh, yeah.
I wrote that down.
So raw.
The line that he says to her, he goes, "Sit your fat ass down, Rami. I can't buy a pack of smokes without running into 9 guys you fucked."
It's so good. I love how he's
I wrote that line
panicking
down.
and he's
It's so
describing
good.
everything.
He
And
grabs out the kettle.
One of the little things is the iron. He grabs the iron.
Yeah.
And he puts that, and then you find out later they actually fucking use the iron.
cauterise
to
the
cauterise
wounds.
their wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Loved
I
it.
made note of the cauterising of the wounds.
Yeah.
thing.
Great little scene.
Yeah. Do
Where
you know what I
where they're
thought first?
fixing
He
each
grabbed
other's wounds with
Candles
an iron.
and iron, 2 packets of food.
He grabs- no, the first thing he went for, did you know, the very first thing he went for was his records? And I was like, here's a man after my own heart. Like,
He just grabbed like one because they all fall out of his hand because it's just panicked. Bloody man.
Can we all agree? Like, we'll have the Rocco conversation now. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
fuck it. Yeah.
man, he's the highlight of the film. He's so mesmerizing. Like,
Yeah.
he's so authentic. That's
a-
the word.
He's a perfect to these two's calm thing,
Yeah.
and then he's just fucking
Yeah.
wild.
But,
and
but that's I've never seen him anything else. I don't know whether you've got anything on him, whether he did more shit. But
Just
he's
a
like,
friend, eh?
that's- I feel like that's just him.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
It's kind of reminds me of when we did Mallrats, and we we're
Yep.
talking about Kevin Smith and fucking forget his
Jason
name,
Mewes.
Jason Mewes.
Yeah.
And it's like Jason Mewes is just this funny fucking
Yeah,
guy,
just
so I
go
put him in my
to-
movies. I feel like Rocco is just the friend of someone,
Yeah,
and that's just literally who he is in real life.
Yeah.
Throw him into the movie, and guess what? He fucking makes the movie.
Yeah,
well, when I say it would have still been great, but like he's a very important
Can I
ingredient.
the role was written for Rocco.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He's a very good friend of Duffy. The
Okay.
role was written for him.
Yeah.
With Rocco in mind. Rocco
Okay.
be yourself.
Hence the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And he only
because
has
there's no way you can cast that.
No, and he only has 5 credits on IMDb.
Yeah.
And
is it like the making of? And
No, it's like Boondock Saints, Boondock Saints 2,
Yeah.
and another spoiler, Boondock Saints 3 is in pre-production. So
Fuck, is it really?
That counts as an IMDb credit as
Shit.
well. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't go too far down the sequel path. I know Duff watched both on the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah,
you both?
Boondocks too.
Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
two's it's
still a bit tongue in cheek. It's got a bit more budget and loses its kind of charm.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
It's
Do you know what
okay.
it scored?
Good. What?
Do you know what it scored on Metacritic?
It wouldn't have been
I
good.
stand to be corrected, but I believe it's 24. Hang on.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, like it was.
the fact that I don't really remember it that well, other than the fact that I kind of
I remember being savagely
means
disappointed by
that
it. Yeah.
It's just the boys living in Ireland, like
yeah.
not venging.
It was pretty
Then
slow,
they go
wasn't
back
it?
to venging. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't have Rocco. They had Clifton Collins Jr., which
That's
is
right.
he's pretty good.
That's right.
You've
It's coming
definitely
back-
seen
it's
one
coming
up
back to me.
close.
Yeah. It's coming back to me.
Yeah, and he has the fancy guns. And
Should I do it again?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Okay.
I
I'll do
enjoyed it.
again.
Like,
I'll put it on my list.
real nostalgia. And I'm all excited for number 3.
Yeah.
Give
It'll
it
be
to me.
interesting see what
Same
happens.
cast. Obviously,
What?
Rocco's back, but same cast.
Oh, Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Must
Norman
be-
Reedus.
Must be about
I'd-
60 odd now. Norman Reedus can do it with his eyes shut.
Oh,
He's up and about.
I've got Norman
Yeah.
Reedus notes, just a couple there, but
Yeah.
I would have his baby.
Yeah.
He's cool, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
He's
fucking
just a
man.
fucking
He's a cool
cool
motherfucker.
dude.
He's the man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I also think that he had quite a lot to work with in the script, in that he had a character arc as well.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. So even the bit where they're like, don't go see the mobsters.
Yeah.
And then the way he goes about that, which was also kind of a flashback, right? So that was also one of the crime scene flashbacks.
Yeah.
Was he say, catch you on the flip side, which is
Yeah.
something nobody's said since the 90s.
It's so
It's
good.
like up top, down low, let's go, whatever. You know? But yeah, he snapped prior to the record grabbing in
That
the
scene
kettle.
where he opens his jacket and just goes, and you just see blood
Yeah,
spray.
it's
Like,
great.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And then
That's-
the fucking Irish and the fucking barman. Oh man.
Very fucking stylish, the movie in
Yes.
general. I know we kind of touched
Yeah,
on
the
it
guy
before,
had
but yeah.
the guy had vision, like very good
very
vision.
good
Yeah.
vision.
Very.
If you want to talk about there was a firefight scene.
Oh,
like
man.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Even the
The
firefight.
music, the
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, like
Yeah.
orchestrating the whole thing, like he's in front of an opera, like it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have worked.
No,
It should have been total wank, right?
Yeah.
But somehow it worked.
Cameras
Like-
all on rails, like
Yeah.
getting flown around in different directions. Like it's so good.
The bit after the penthouse where he's walking on the couch.
Yeah.
It's just like, what is he? Then he does a river dance and
Yeah,
jumps on.
So he did that.
Perfect.
Fun fact, he did that because this is where he had vision. Troy Duffy had vision, but was also, you could tell he was a rookie. He walked in, Willem Dafoe's walked in, and he's looked at the scene with the dead bodies around, and he goes, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? You've filled up all the spaces with the bodies. And Duffy's like, fuck, I don't know. Stand on the couch.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that happened on the fly on set because of
That's
a
cool.
bit of a bit
I
of
think
a,
that's
a
perfect,
Yeah, a
that
bit of
bit.
a mistake by Troy Duffy. So
And it also adds to William Dafoe's fucking eccentric character.
Oh, man.
Like,
Yeah.
that makes it perfect. Why would he walk on the floor?
yeah, he plays both a stereotype, but not a stereotype at the same time. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there's certain
He
parts.
plays
of
the
it.
stereotype and he fights back with certain things.
Yeah, his
That's-
brain.
Yeah, it's like
He's a
he
fucking
fights back
genius.
like when that guy's cuddling him.
Yeah.
And when he's at the bar ordering a drink. It's just,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He pushes pushes back.
But then you see his interaction with other cops, his touchy
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah.
It's just like, and when he has that mental breakdown after there was a firefight.
Yeah.
He finds a finger, he puts it in his pocket and walks away and his hands on his, like...
Yeah, he sachets. He
and it's just
sachets
like
away.
Those little bits of piecing
Yeah.
proves that William Dafoe is a genius.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
having him in this movie gave it gravitas.
Definitely.
Like it was, and what a performance! Like
Amazing character, amazing performance.
Yeah, yeah. So
it's actually funny because no one else does that, and then no one else can do the Rocco character.
Yeah.
like there's a few characters in this movie where you're like, they just nailed this so perfectly,
which is really
that it
interesting
could- yeah.
because there are just another sort of preview of the minisode that's coming up.
Mm.
Part of it's going to be recasting in that the list of people that were attached to this is incredible.
Yeah, okay.
So listen to the minisode for that bit.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I also think what Willem Dafoe added to the movie and the fact that they made his character gay and all that sort of stuff, and then the fact that he comes in off the top rope with the Boston cops, right? Like
Yeah.
they're obviously tightening his FBI. He's the interloper.
Yeah.
And he mocks them mercilessly. Like he does not fuck around from when he arrives at the crime scene.
Yeah.
And he proves old mate Bob Marley wrong.
Yeah.
To when he walks into the cop station and he's just giving it to him. He's like, "You fat donut eating dipshits" or whatever.
Yeah.
But the dynamic, you watch that dynamic evolve as well throughout the movie to the point where at the John Woo scene, the 8 bodies in the penthouse scene.
Those guys are learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
they're
like,
thinking
what'd you see?
outside the box.
What'd you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. And poor old Greenland again, he fucks it up again. He's like, get me another bagel. But like the dynamic, they respected him. Like I think one of them makes a bit of a disparaging homophobic remark at one point.
And the other guy's panicked.
Yeah.
And William Dafoe knows what he says.
He's like, whatever.
The fat man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But it's kind of like cool how they acknowledge it but don't really give a shit because he's such a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that even from a movie of that era as well. I thought that was
Very
great.
well done.
Yeah. Yeah, they did really well with that. Well
Really
handled.
well.
What's your thoughts on Billy Connolly?
Billy Connolly is
You know
a
my
badass.
thoughts? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, oh, man, just when he rocks up.
On a trolley? They wheel him around on a fridge trolley. That's how much of a badass he
And the
is.
cage comes down.
The bird cage.
How does he get out of there? He just like fucking release him.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They just go, you're good.
Another one where they just took a wild chance.
Shouldn't
Yeah.
work.
Like, why? How is Billy Connolly going to be this?
Yeah.
But then it does.
Yeah.
You just got to put a jacket on him and...
I've got a fun fact
let his
about
hair
Billy
out.
Connolly. You might have mentioned it with a scar.
Yeah, go on. You go.
So he was because Billy Connolly's typecast. If he's not doing this, is the man who's,
Showing his ass.
the man who sues God.
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So he had that
Not
set
bad
up,
film.
set up with
Good
8
flick.
guns on him.
Yeah.
and he could not stop laughing. Like, he had a huge smile on his face, so they whacked a cigar in his mouth.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's
got rid of
that's
his
how it works.
Film trickery, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But that fight scene, Jesus, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
And they're just
Going
bang,
for
bang,
it.
bang, and they get shot. Like, one pops out, and
Because it's the only time that Willem Dafoe's wrong, right? Because there was 6 men.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Just
there
one.
was fucking
one.
El Duque.
Yeah.
El Duce?
Yeah.
El Duque. Yeah. Oh, man.
Great.
Loved it.
I loved the fact that he played so against type. I just loved him as a badass. I put here that I love the fact that he's such a badass that he's got 6 guards or whatever it is, and he's just wheeled around on a trolley. Like we don't even trust him to walk.
They're talking about no women or kids. It's like, why is he locked up? It seems like an all right guy.
And then the twist where they do reveal, you kind of, even if you've seen it, you haven't seen it before, you can kind of sense it coming.
There's going to be something going on there,
the twist where they reveal that he's obviously got the family connection because he knows the prayer.
Yeah.
I still think it's a great little twist. Like, it's pretty well executed.
Yeah.
It's very well done, because if they weren't doing that prayer, he would have killed them.
Yeah.
And then he went, oh, hang on.
Yeah. Yep. So is he the dad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. He's a dad.
Yeah.
Clear as day, isn't it?
Yeah, you find out more in Boondock Saints too.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
They confirm that?
I don't remember any of it. One of my other notes is with that scene where he comes in after Willem Dafoe's joined their team. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. I'm not sure that Willem Dafoe is that convincing as a woman.
Oh, no. He's definitely not.
That I would have been like, yeah, fuck it.
I love how worked up the mobster is and how attractive he is.
Jesus, how tolly would you have to be?
Jeez.
Not a good looking
How long
woman.
has he been in that house? Like, Jesus.
It's like, okay, yeah, right. Yeah.
An aggressive physique on her.
Yeah.
Hey, handsome. Just bulging with muscle.
Yeah.
Because he's
The cheekbones, the mouth,
Yeah.
And then
William Dafoe's not a pretty man.
No.
No,
And he's not a pretty woman.
Well, he has such harsh features.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing. Like,
So like when Bugs Bunny dresses up in drag, and you're like, yeah, fair enough.
But fair enough, they gave it a crack, and I think it worked.
Yeah, it was a good.
Oh, it was a good
plot
scene,
device.
yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if at that point Willem Dafoe's just like, you got to dress me up as a woman. or
Yeah,
something.
he probably request. Yeah, I want to do it.
Because he finds out.
I'm all in on this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He finds out they're going after Rocco, and the only way he can get inside is to get this, and that's his character arc as well. Like, going, oh, he's slowly turning. He's with him.
When he kills that first guy and he goes, now I've gone too far.
Yeah, then he pulls that, and then he walks around.
Fuck it.
Another thing I loved about the film is that his character went in that direction.
Yeah.
Rather than staying straight
Yeah.
and being eventually their downfall, which
Yeah.
is how a lot of those type films play out. And nah. He's
You
actually
know I
going to
love-
go, you know what? Nah, they're doing what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, this is what he says to the priest when he's drunk.
He does,
and he's confessing.
yeah.
But I've always loved a plot that blurs the lines between good and bad. Like I like it when it's not just all one side or the other, not all black or white. I like the good guys to have a bit of bad and the bad guys to have a bit of good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they went fucking full. And that's the whole thing. Is like who is right, who is wrong. Like these guys are judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, that's why I like the end credit scenes where they're talking to people and getting their advice.
No comment.
And it's like,
I didn't love it.
I loved it, eh?
I didn't mind it.
Get my gun, I'll go out there and shoot them all.
No,
Sign me up.
I thought some of the people, like the actors or whatever you want to call them, were quite good, and others were just really bad. It's like, just
Not acting.
That was the Duffies.
That was actually him out in the streets.
Yeah.
Made that up.
No, in the credits, and I am kind of making this up, but there's a lot of Duffies in the credits.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he shoehorned the family in at the end there.
Yeah,
Because you just have to be a real person. I'm just going to ask you a question, and you just have to say, I'm not talking about that.
I didn't love it.
No
I was like,
But
the movie didn't need that.
If
Just
the Boston people are what
faded
they
out
think
with a
they
cool
are,
song.
that's what they would have all said. I ain't saying shit.
Yeah.
I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying shit. Would have been the worst interviews of all time. So what do you think of the vigilante killings? I ain't saying shit.
No comment.
Only other couple of notes I've got. One thing I thought was a little point that I didn't like as much as the rest. I thought Norman Reedus's accent in the final big speech wasn't great. For the rest of the film, I was okay with it.
I didn't really notice it, so it mustn't have bothered me too much.
I'm a bit of an expert on accents.
You are, yeah. You are
I'm
a linguist.
so in on that moment. They
It's
could be
fucking
speaking like Swahili,
He
and
did
I'd
at
understand
times, yeah.
everything and
Yeah.
not even notice.
Yeah.
I'm just all in. I'm all in at that moment.
Didn't notice it. Didn't
It
bother
pulled
me.
me out a little bit of that moment.
When Billy Connolly lifts that girl's head up and tells her to keep watching.
Yeah, it'll be over soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's powerful.
in terms of actually picking on it, like there was some performances which weren't great, but they weren't big parts of the movie, so I didn't really mind. So there's a couple of people where I was like, but they were in and out pretty quickly, so it didn't really matter. Some of the peripheral characters.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that with an indie film anyway.
Yeah, the guys at the cafe, I think, weren't great. Yeah, he was trying his hardest, and that was probably the problem.
Yeah.
Well, he got shot in the head anyway. So.
Yeah, he got what he deserved.
My nitpicking is that guy at the cafe.
Yeah.
But apart from that, fucking more perfect.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Ron Jeremy is a great actor.
Oh fuck, he's just
and that
not.
scene in general was like the racist joke. That was like that has not aged well.
No,
you could probably cut all that.
Yeah, probably
wouldn't make much of a difference.
It just, I think they need. Sure, they do it differently now, but I think they needed that to prove this guy is there. He's a joke. He's not respected. I mean, he grabbed the guy's sandwich. That's his role in the mob is to grab sandwiches.
Yeah, bring me a bologna. And then he opens the sandwich and he shows it to Ron Jeremy. He's like, it's not even a good sandwich.
Yeah.
But Ron Jeremy dressed as Elvis. I'm like, what is fucking happening here?
It's weird.
Yeah.
So I did a quick list of, to steal a category from another podcast, what's aged the worst?
Yeah.
And I try not to make it all about technology, but we do talk about how like period pieces and westerns and whatnot without technology. Some of the technology in this was pretty fucking funny. So Willem Dafoe in the first scene, Discman.
Oh, I love that. It took me back, man.
Man, same. I've still got my Discman. My Discman, I'd wrap it in a tea towel, put it in my fucking backpack because I was skating, so I was getting bounced around.
Yeah, and it would work. It would stop the anti-skip.
It would help a bit.
Yeah.
I have that shit cranked on the train.
Yeah.
Mine turned into an art sculpture because I left it in my car one day and it just melted and turned into this fucking sweet thing.
Art installation.
I was like, wow.
It's a Banksy. I put Ron Jeremy and a super racist joke both in the same scene. Probably could have been done. If you did it these days, you wouldn't do that. Put it that way.
No.
Heaps of ciggy smoking.
Heaps of ciggy
Yeah, there wasn't there?
They smoked a ton of durries in this movie.
Yeah.
And as the next smoker, it was very hard for me to watch. I was like,
well, you're not allowed to smoke in movies anymore.
Yeah, so just
an automatic R rating or something, isn't it? Or MA? Wow.
I think that's just frowned upon in general.
No, it was something with the Batman. Colin Farrell's character in The Batman.
Yeah.
He wanted to smoke, and if he smoked, then it changes the rating of the movie.
How fucking dumb
something
is
like
that?
Oh, took it from M to MA or something.
The kids would have just taken up en masse. They would have taken up the cigarettes.
That and
bureaucracy
and become Batman.
Yeah. We don't talk like Batman. 12-year-old kids. Some of the language hasn't aged that well. There's the R word.
I've got so fuck. One of my favorite words, if you haven't noticed, is said 246 times in this movie.
I had that as a tidbit later on. But
and I didn't even look that up. I sat there and counted.
Was it Rocco doing the most? No, and the mobsters.
What the fucking fuck?
Yeah.
Rocco did a lot.
I don't know. I'm not saying all of Ireland is foul-mouthed, but it's one of their things.
And Italians. It's Irish and Italians in this whole movie.
It's in their national anthems. Yeah, I think, For Love of Fucking Ireland is the name of their national anthem. There's a pager. When was the last time you saw a pager?
Oh, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and he uses the Russian guy's pager.
I'm currently rewatching ER, the hospital series from the 90s.
What the fuck has happened to you, man? You have fucking aged so much in the last fucking week.
I'm fucking around.
Jesus. It's Grey's Anatomy or nothing.
Nice little twist.
McDreamy. And then the other one is, this is a question that we probably shouldn't answer, but I'm just putting it out there. Do they still have those jerk-off boobs with the little black and white telly? Like, is that still a thing that goes on? Anyway.
You take that one. There's one in Northbridge.
So
you have to walk past it every time you go into Northbridge.
Oh, wow. How much does it cost, Ken?
Club X. I've never been in. Club X. But it specifically says Peep Show. I think they're still a thing.
Yeah, I'll cross the street just so I don't get herpes from walking past.
That was actually my favourite.
Place to hang out on a Saturday.
Favourite kill scene was that one. I just love with Rocco and
actually, we never answered that question.
That's fine. And Willem Dafoe doing we got good shooter, bad shooter, and then and he figures out.
Ooh,
how
actually,
you're
looks like we got a cowboy.
I love that one
that
for some reason.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Got a cowboy.
Yeah. Plus Ron Jeremy got shot.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
He took it to the face for once.
Are we going to...
Very good.
Very good.
Wow.
So should we dive into the director and cast? You guys got any general thoughts?
I want to talk about Rocco's death and how powerful that shit was.
Well, funny you bring that up because was he credited for Boondock Saints 3? Did you say?
I tried to load it.
You don't know how he's credited?
It was.
Yeah. Anyway,
flashbacks.
Because he definitely did die.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely dead.
It'll be flashbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the lead paint in here is stopping my internet from working.
No, it's a BlackBerry that's stopping that.
Where is? Oh no, it's loaded.
No, you're out of credit. You ran out of prepaid.
So that scene where you see the brothers, how they react.
Yes.
Norm's going crazy, and Sean's like, "Look at me,
Yeah.
look at me." It's just,
they get me the whole time. Yeah.
So powerful.
Yeah,
Don't stop.
it was. Yeah, because you had really come to love that guy.
It was so like, it's just bang. The guy walks outside. They're not going to talk. Grabs his gun, walks back in, and they know straight away.
Okay, so he's definitely in 2, but it doesn't say whether he's in 3 or not. So
Tuesday's flashbacks. Baby.
I'm just looking up 3, and it's Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery again.
Yeah.
excellent.
But yeah, no sign of Rocco, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry, I lied to them.
But he's dead, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be flashbacks.
Flashback and
Yeah, so far the cast is just Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick.
Perfect.
According to IMDb.
Yeah.
sometimes that's all you need.
Yep. So he may or may not. Rocco, if you're listening, hit us up. Let us know.
Please.
Make it funny, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be
and not so racist, please.
Fine.
But yeah, he was. You got emotionally invested in him. I mean, you got emotionally invested in the fellas too.
I was
You
emotionally
did.
invested in
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Apart from, I love how the gangsters were no names, so you've got no inkling of them. You've got no care for them.
Yeah.
Just shoot them down like
Yeah,
pawns.
good
Kill
point.
them all.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
kill
Yeah.
'em.
Yeah. No, good point.
Fucking bastardo.
Yeah. He really played it up as well, didn't
Oh,
he?
my
Yeah,
God.
the fact that the guy that they knew all those languages.
Yeah.
that was a
Fanguli. Yeah. Like, fuck, are we doing this? That was racist.
You're probably right.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's get into the whatever was next, I guess.
So we'll touch on the director Troy Duffy, but as I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on him for our minisode. So this was his first ever script, and it was picked up and optioned. He was only 24 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is that how this got financed and had a whole heap of people jumping at it because the script was so good? Or?
I will reveal all during
Okay.
the minisode.
No
Good
worries.
tease though, Ken.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't tease.
Yeah, stay
I'm
with
excited to
us.
know.
Join us next week.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that he did become a sensation. The script it became a sensation, and he became a name synonymous with getting too high on your own supply and crashing and burning.
Okay.
So he only has 3 credits on IMDb. He has the 2 Boondock Saints movies. and
Perfect.
A movie from 2020 called Guest House with Pauly Shore in it.
Oh my!
That's not gonna be good.
Lord.
So
Squeezing the juice.
Biodome.
That's Encino Man, brother.
Oh, Encino Man. I'm a Biodome guy myself.
I'm an Encino Man guy.
What's the Metacritic on Biodome and Encino Man?
Don't look it up.
Well, stay tuned next weekend.
I quit. I'm formally handing in my resignation.
Go
So
on. Sorry.
We'll talk more about the Troy Duffy story later on.
Yep.
Our mate Norman.
Yep.
He's the man.
Yeah,
So he plays Murphy McManus. He's got 85 acting credits on IMDb.
Shit.
Yeah. He only has a Metacritic average score of 42.
I'd expect that.
Yeah, because his highest score is only 62.
And that was from Blade 2, I imagine. He was really good in that.
But
some motherfuckers are always trying to skate uphill.
I've got, you know what, I've got it written here. It's like, Blade 2, pause for Duff. I mean, that was probably one of his more notable actual film roles, right?
Yeah.
So he's most famous for The Walking Dead.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. But before that, he was in, like, Mimic.
Don't get me started on Mimics. One
Good
of my favorite
movie.
movies.
I don't remember him. I
Guillermo
don't remember
del
it, though.
Toro.
Yeah.
Cool movie.
999?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh, that was terrible.
That's terrible. It should have been great. Should have been great.
Norman
It wasn't.
gets it in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
And he's in Vacation,
Okay.
which is also not great, but it's okay.
Is that
Oh,
Ed Helms' Vacation?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
I liked it, man.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it was
okay.
alright.
Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah, that was okay.
Swinging his jump.
With The Walking Dead,
Yes.
this would be a much more difficult podcast. What would its Metacritic score be at the beginning compared to now?
Oh, my God. It would be 88 for the first, I don't know, 3 seasons.
yeah.
And then it would start dipping off. And by now it's probably 21.
I respect anyone who's still watching The Walking Dead.
Fuck,
Yeah.
I really
I made
do.
it to
'cause I don't
about
know.
season 8,
I didn't make it that far. I made it to about season 5.
and then I just got sick of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all of a sudden, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, same.
I got out when the characters got silly. So when all of a sudden there's a guy that has pet tigers and that sort of shit, I was like, I'm out. And that was like...
You got to
season-
remember, Ken, you're watching a comic book TV show.
That was
Yeah, but it wasn't comic booky for the first 5 or 6 seasons.
No, exactly
when
like
did the Tiger King appear?
No, but it didn't have
the Tiger King.
It didn't have characters with fucking
missed that.
tiger. Yeah, I know.
He appeared after
was like
Carol Baskin.
He was like a lord or some shit.
Yeah,
and he
he's
had
a-
like a pet tiger, and it was
Like
just
Mike
weird.
Tyson.
And he had like a staff that he walked around.
Staph infection.
No, like a staff.
He's walking around with a staph infection.
Staff, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
man.
a stick. He had a stick.
Whatever. He probably had staff and staff.
So they're doing a fucking spin-off too, right? Like Carol.
Oh, there's thousands.
Carol and Daryl. It sounds like it's a sitcom set. in
No,
Boston
Carol's
Bar.
pulled out.
Oh, has she?
Yeah, she's pulled out.
All right.
Let's just do Norman Reedus walking in the bush for 45 minutes.
I'll watch it.
Happy to.
He honestly,
Is he still in The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Or did he get
He's
killed
the
off?
main guy.
He's the main guy.
Yeah.
They made it about him.
Perfect.
That's really good. And then,
He'd be a
Maybe
billionaire-
one
he'd be
day
a
I'll-
billionaire by now off that show, wouldn't he?
oh, he's super recognizable
Yeah.
because of it.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, like, as I said, that was his. We listed his main.
He already had
movies.
a huge cult following, and his market now is just huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
I reckon,
But the show doesn't go on without him.
No, I wouldn't.
So that's where he's like, I want 2 million an episode now.
Yeah.
No, if I'm going to keep doing this shit show, then I want fucking 5 million an ep. Yeah.
And I get to keep the
And a tiger.
get to keep the crossbow.
He just also just seems like a fucking cool bloke in my
Very,
opinion.
very
Yeah.
cool.
So some of the little things that came up in my research about him, like his favorite song of all time is "Mountain Song" by Jane's Addiction, and I'm like,
cool.
We should be best fucking friends.
Yeah.
His second favorite song of all time,
Yeah.
is "Get Free" by the Vines, which is like a deep
Oh,
cut,
it's
right?
like an Australian.
yeah, I'm like, that's fucking. That's a
I
bit of-
want to get free.
yeah. So someone might
Good song. Haven't heard that in a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Someone might name check Jane's Addiction for the cred, you know,
Yeah.
but no one's name checking no American is going. My second favorite song of all time is "Get Free" by that '90s Australian band, the guy with Asperger's syndrome, the Vines. No one's
Very
so
deep
like
cut.
he's legit, right?
Yeah.
He also has a son with supermodel Helena Christensen,
Yep.
and
I
he.
don't know who she is.
I do.
Oh man,
Sure.
yeah, she was.
A supermodel?
Yeah, I don't want to get too red blooded.
Yeah, I was about to say red.
I saw it coming.
She was yeah, she's cropped up throughout pop culture heaps.
Okay.
Yeah.
I probably know if I saw her.
Blur and In Excess, she dated a lot. And he also has a daughter with Diana Kruger.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Big fan of Diana.
Yeah, same. She's a fantastic actress. So any other thoughts on our mate Norm?
No, other
covered it
than
off.
I love him.
Sweet.
Love
All
him.
right, let's
Yeah.
move on
Big
to Sean Patrick Flannery, or as it's actually pronounced,
Sean Patrick Flannery.
who played Conor McManus.
Yeah.
Not an Irish enough name. Try again. This guy works.
Oh,
Yes.
man. He was fucking good in this.
He was
Yeah.
good, but his career hasn't really exploded as a result. He's got 118 credits on IMDb, mostly movies you've never heard of and bit parts in TV shows that you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah. I've seen him around. He's been a constant throughout my life.
Yeah.
And
He's that
all
guy.
I ever think of is his
Boondock
character from
Saints.
Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
It's the guy from Boondock.
It was really early in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's either going to be a stepping stone or a fucking millstone.
He was really raw in
did
this.
Did he ever go onto like main star and
He
anything
did.
else?
He was the main star in a movie called Powder. Does anyone remember Powder?
That was before this?
Oh, I don't know. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, well and truly.
Was it?
It was like mid-90s Powder.
Oh, really?
I do
that
remember
movie?
it.
I feel
Yeah.
I've seen Sean Patrick Flannery.
What a touching flick that was.
It's,
Well,
no,
that
oh,
really
yeah.
formed some of my feelings about sort of empathy.
That might be how he got this role.
Probably right. Yeah.
I think he's played a doctor 18 times, and his other credits is a prison movie.
Yeah, he might be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's a poor man's Stephen Dorff.
Yeah, I like that.
He's a very, very similar.
He's a broke man.
And Stephen Dorff got him.
Yeah.
I'm actually just flicking through his IMDb now, and I've not seen any of these. They're very low
straight
budget.
to
Yeah, so
VHS
said
movie.
movies you've never heard of. So his average Metacritic's only 34.
Yeah.
His
straight
best ever score is 51.
Wow.
Yeah, for a movie
Best
called
ever.
Best Men. Yeah, so 51's his peak.
Best man I think.
And I think probably
You
his
definitely have.
the biggest, other than Powder and Boondock Saints, probably Saw 3D is his biggest role.
Oh.
is he the detective in that, isn't he? Is he?
I don't know.
Or is
I
he
don't
one of the guys?
watch
Because that's
Saw
good, that
movies.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that one's good.
I watched the
3D one.
first one. I'm like, I get it.
I know where the sixth one's going.
I can't remember who he is in it now. I'll have to revisit.
Just for the fans out there, while Ken's Googling, don't watch Spiral.
Oh, no, that's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Spiral's Saw 6, I think, or 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just
It's just it's in the Saw universe or
Yeah.
whatever. And it follows
We're doing the
it.
fucking Saw universe
It's
now.
not- it's not
not
good.
into it.
Right. Right.
Spiral it right down the shithole.
It was the first one, and the backstory of that being cool and everything. I used to watch those two guys that wrote. I used to watch them on like the ABC doing movie reviews and shit.
Yeah. Saw as my Red Wine Friday movie night. I went, that Final Destination.
Right,
put a
real fun time.
Couple of fucking red wines I'm in. That's a fucking real hoot.
Yeah, I like the Saw. I like the first couple of Saw, and then I like the last couple of Saw.
Yeah.
Other than Spiral. There's just a couple in the middle there where they get too caught up in the...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you want to play a game? No. Oh, roll credits.
Is it Monopoly? Because we've banned that. Remember, we do not fucking play Monopoly. Don't play board games with the rimmers. So should we move on to Willem?
Yes,
Willem Dafoe played Paul Schmecker.
Yeah,
he has 144 credits on IMDb.
I want to know his score, baby.
Average score?
Have we done a Willem Dafoe movie?
We've touched on him before.
What movie did we do?
I think we've touched on him as being.
I think he was in The Meg.
He played the Asian lady.
Yeah, I feel like we've definitely spoken of him a lot.
He has come up briefly, at least. Yeah. So, what would you guess is? Go on, guess at his average score.
I would guess his average score is 62. That's huge.
60. You're fucking.
Fuck. Yeah, I know Willem. I love Willem.
Man, he's got 3 movies above 90.
Yeah, he would do.
One of them's Finding Nemo.
Yeah, perfect.
Animated don't count.
Does count.
Yeah.
Animated don't count.
The Florida Project is one of his more recent ones.
Never heard of it.
Haven't seen it.
Lighthouse Baby, where's that at?
Don't know.
Wow.
I'd have to look at it. It's 144 movie stuff. I didn't write them all down. But Platoon is his highest scoring movie.
Yeah. That introduced me to Willem Dafoe. That's where I know him from originally.
Great in that.
Yeah, fucking good.
Well, he's great in everything, but he's memorable in that. Like
that's why there was a firefight. That scene where there was a firefight.
Yeah.
It's exactly like his death scene
in Platoon.
Yeah, it is a bit.
And that's why it really resonated.
Helicopters.
That's why it really resonated with me. That shit.
Good point. I didn't pick up on that synergy. Yeah, he's been nominated for 4 Academy Awards and never won one. So he's done 3 Best Supporting and 1 Best Actor and hasn't won. And if I'm not mistaken, Ken, he plays a part in your movie of the year so far this year, does he not?
He does. The Northman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in The Northman.
He's in The Northman.
Watching that this weekend.
Please
Pretty excited.
Please do. It's incredible.
Beers or whiskies, Ken?
A couple of whiskies.
Yeah, whiskies. Okay.
Couple of whiskey movies?
Yeah, a couple of whiskies.
Cool.
A couple of whiskies with the older boys.
Acts classy. We talked at length about his role in the movie. He's fucking great in it. He carries big portions of this movie, no doubt. Which is interesting in that the studio actually wanted Sylvester Stallone.
It was a firefight. No way.
I reckon. I don't know. I reckon this is one of those Reddit trolls or some shit that someone just puts in every fucking tidbits of every movie. They actually wanted Sylvester Stallone. Like he either that or he was in the running
for every movie from like 85 to 2005.
Yeah, different movie, and I hate it.
Yeah, it just doesn't work on a number of levels. And as I said, we do a lot of casting what ifs coming up. So. The next one was David Del Rocco. We did David. He's got an average Metacritic score of 34 from the fucking 3 movies that he's been in.
Great.
And as we said, the part was specifically written for him, and that's probably why it works, because he's not exactly a thespian, but he fucking nails his part.
So he just plays himself, and if he's like that in real life, fucking let's be pals.
Oh, I want to meet him.
He looks like a dead hoper, mate.
Yeah, he does.
He's a dead hoper.
Definitely a dead hoper.
Yeah.
Love it.
100%, yeah. So let's call that the Jason Mewes effect. He is the epitome of the Jason Mewes effect.
Yeah. I like that. That might be a new bit.
Yeah.
Jason Mewes effect. Yeah.
And last on the list of people that I want to dig into on the cast is Billy Connolly.
Yep.
He's actually got 71 credits on IMDb.
Yeah, man, it's been around a while.
Working.
Yeah. Around a while.
Universally loved, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got an average Metacritic score of 54.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
I've put here 3 points about Billy Connolly, legend of comedy.
Yeah,
definitely.
He was knighted in 2017 for his services to comedy.
Right. Sir Billy.
Yep, and he's now retired because he's got Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, and he's just released his memoirs, hasn't he?
He has,
his autobiography.
Oh, wow.
So, just a fucking interesting guy. And as we said, we've also discussed his role in this movie at length. He was fucking really good.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So should I hit you with I've got 4 tidbits to hit you with.
Go.
5. Actually 5, I've miscounted.
I like it.
So despite the Bible passages and prayers being so prominent in the script and the religious iconography being such a big part of the story and all the visual aesthetic, etc., they were banned from filming in Catholic churches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the set pieces were filmed in Lutheran churches.
Explains the eagle, I guess.
Yeah, apparently a big part of the Lutheran Bible.
I don't know what Lutheran is, but it sounds cool.
Yeah, fucking Jesus rides an eagle.
Me up.
So good.
Jesus rides an eagle.
So apparently the Catholic Church were concerned with their image.
Fair.
Yeah, good point. Well done, Catholic Church.
Yeah, that concerns them.
Exactly.
Fuck.
They're like, no Eagles.
Yeah.
This one I didn't know, but it spun me out a little bit. The film wasn't shot in Boston.
Ah.
It was filmed in Canada.
Oh, that makes sense.
For tax break purposes.
Yeah.
So apparently you got to pay too much to shoot in Boston.
A lot of things are shot in Vancouver and shit like that.
Yeah.
Supernatural is one of them.
Really?
Straight off the bat.
Fucking
Really? Supernatural.
Yeah. Look it up.
The only grown man that watches Supernatural.
I like Vancouver. It's really nice.
Yeah, me too.
So apparently you can tell if you've got a keen enough eye, there's stores in the background of some shots that are exclusive to Canada. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Tim Hortons or whatever. Like,
And all the cops were Mounties. What's all this about, eh? Irish Canadian.
So, for reasons that remain unexplained, Ron Jeremy gave Sean Patrick Flannery a mould of his dick at the end as a present to celebrate the film's rapid production.
That's great.
And it was inscribed with the words, "Keep up the hard work." So there was a point where that was probably worth a bit, and it's not so much anymore.
That's
it's on Craigslist now if you want to grab it, guys. Billy Connolly apparently didn't necessarily like working with Willem Dafoe.
Oh.
I just pictured them being the best of friends.
But this is the thing.
Because they're both kind of eccentric. And,
Yeah, so...
Oh, maybe that's too much.
Well, also, they don't know whether Billy Connolly was taking the piss because he's got that dry European wit. But because he said he didn't like his tantrums or his hair. So I'm pretty sure he's
taking the piss.
I think he
He's
was
taking the
joking, but
piss.
no one was actually sure. So final tidbit to wrap it up. What do you reckon the kill count was?
Oh, good question. Didn't even 40-ish?
I only wrote down the fuck count.
I'll say 40.
You got the same fuck count, by the way.
I'm going to go 57.
Okay. Nailed it, Ken.
How many?
40 people, one cat.
40 on the dot.
Yep. We've been good today, haven't we? Been good, Ken.
We're getting good at this shit. Yeah,
Good. Okay.
They just pounded it, guys. So give us your wrap up, Ken. Go for it. What do you got?
Boondock Saints, man. It's look, it's as I like to say, it's in my wheelhouse. It's vigilante justice. What's trying to? So it's that, and I love those sort of movies, like those vigilante, those kind of cheap. I call them cheap action movies, whatever, late night action movies.
Yeah, I'm
which
all about it.
anyone that's listened to a few episodes of the pod knows that's right in my wheelhouse. This one hits a little harder for me though, because it is so stylish. It's not a unique story to tell, but it's a very unique way of telling it. And the characters, which we've just touched on, like literally pretty much every character in there is just so rich. And then the stylishness of the flashback scenes and all that sort of stuff. Like I'm mesmerized by the movie. You know what? I just fucking love watching this movie.
Yeah.
That's what I got to say about it. I'm going to give it 87 for me.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, this movie is, what Ken said, love it all. I love everything about it. Like the only bad thing I could say is that one actor and the shitty bartender at the cafe. Everything else, I'm all in. I didn't realize it was accents. I don't care. I'm all in. And this movie hit me young. I remember watching this at a very young age, and it stuck with me. I can still, watching it again, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I remember every single bit, and I don't care. It has no expiry date. I could watch this in 2 years' time and go, wow, I can't believe we did this in the pod. Perfect.
Yeah.
For me, it's top 10.
Yeah.
So for me, right up there, 96, baby.
Whoa. 96.
96.
And is someone keeping track of your top 10 as well?
20th movie in the top 10.
Someone's keeping track
I
of
have 97 movies in my top 10.
Okay, I respect that.
But if I love a movie, I fucking love a movie.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
fair.
I know.
Top 10.
I know, baby. I love your passion.
Fucking baby. You're definitely getting a mold, friend.
They're pounding it out. They're calling each other baby. Feel the love.
Sorry,
brothers.
Ben, you're just too far.
Yeah, look, I chose this movie, and I chose it for a couple of reasons, and I kind of knew your guys' feelings about it, but not that I give a fuck about your feelings.
Never have, never will.
It was nothing to do with that. Part of the reason is I really wanted to revisit this and watch it with that new eye the new prism that we tend to watch things through when we're going to talk about it on this bloody podcast, and it held up. It held up despite me watching it with me jaundiced critical eye, like I'm a AV Club employee.
Yeah.
It's derivative. You can tell that some of it is derivative. And in some of the research that I did, Troy Duffy doesn't make much of a secret about that. He's like, yeah, I'm tipping my hat to Tarantino. Yeah, I'm tipping my hat to John Woo. You know, like, yeah, there's not quite homage, but it's a little hat tip. Just a little hello. Just a hello. Hello, mate. Hello.
And you can see that.
Yeah. And the construction could have been done much worse. It worked. So I think it worked. Also, the performances were really good, particularly by the two main guys. Obviously, my mate Norm, his accents, he slipped out a little bit at the end, but that is my biggest nitpick, and I'm fucking Captain Nitpick.
Yeah.
With the movie.
I mean, no, you're not.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed rewatching it. It's violent as fuck. It's Vengeance Ride City. It made me laugh out loud a few times, which I really enjoyed. And it had enough depth in the story and the characters. Like I said, I love the blurring of the lines. I love the character arcs that almost every character went on. I'm going to give it 85.
Wow, that's a big one.
That's huge for us. Yeah.
Unanimous.
Basically a 90, I'd say. Aggregate.
Everyone's had a fun 2 hours.
Yeah.
Sure have.
Yeah, enjoyed.
That was cool.
Yep, that's the Boondock Saints.
Great. So what did you say we got coming up on the mini app?
Well, I'm going to talk about this story has an incredible origin story.
Okay.
This movie has an incredible origin story, rather. So I'm going to ramble about that at length.
Yes.
And then
can't wait.
Then we're going to talk about. So just fucking sit back and listen to me. Yeah. Then we're going to talk about our favorite movie brothers.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Because why wouldn't you after this movie? Yeah. So please join us then. That's out next week. Until then, check us out on social media.
Yes. I was going to mention that actually. Something that does help us out a lot on the social media is give us a review if you're enjoying it. Yeah. I hate being that fucking podcast, but if you jump on or however you listen to it, Spotify or Apple or whatever, and just give us a review, then it does puts us up a little bit. People might find it that like movies that don't know us.
I think it's too much to ask.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's really not. It's really not.
Yeah. Duff will give you a mould of his...
There we have it. That's what we'll all agree to that.
And I'll send it in a small package.
Small things come in small packages.
Yeah. That has been another ep of The Redeemables.
Why don't you make like a tree and get the fuck out of here?
Bye.
Now you will receive us. We do not ask for your poor. Or you're hungry. We do not want you tired and sick.
It is your corrupt we claim.
It is your evil that will be sought by us.
With every breath, we shall hunt them down.
Each day, we will spill their blood till it rains down from the skies.
Do not kill. Do not rape. Do not steal. These are principles which every man of every faith can embrace.
These are not polite suggestions. These are codes of behavior. And those of you that ignore them will pay the dearest cost.
There are varying degrees of evil. We urge you lesser forms of filth, not to push the bounds and cross over into true corruption, into our domain.
But if you do, one day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it.
And we will send you to whatever God you wish.
And shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. May swiftly carry out thy command.
So we shall flow river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
In nomine Patri,
et Filii,
Spiritus Sancti.